Hey little cuties, Demi with Bemi here, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I make sewing and fashion related videos, and if you haven't subscribed already, if you've been lurking for a while, hit the subscribe button. It's free. So today, as many of you have probably already seen, I did Inktober this year, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through all of the looks I created and talk about the inspirations for them and kind of just talk about the different pieces and all that kind of stuff. Also, I think it'd be kind of fun to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. And it'd also be interesting to see what you guys think, if my favorites are your favorites and that kind of thing. So let's get into it. All right guys, as you are seeing the illustrations here on the screen, I will be looking at my sketchbook. So day one was crystal, and I was thinking of this dress being fringed, and that all of these little fringes are actually beaded and they have crystal beads on them. She's not like my favorite, but she's also not my least favorite. I feel a little bit down the middle of the road with her. I'm gonna give her a 5 out of 10. I just think like, could be better, could be worse. Because now that I look at it, I kind of feel like I've seen this dress before. Do you know what I mean? Like this dress has walked a red carpet somewhere. Not like super innovative, but not like ugly either, you know what I mean? So a solid 5 out of 10. Day two, the prompt was suit. So it was hard to use an actual garment to create another garment, if that makes sense. So I tried to go a little bit out of the box. As I feel like it's pretty obvious, you can see the inspiration was like a suit of armor. I think the shoulder pads made this a little bit too costumey for my taste. I think if you just like took off the shoulder pads, this would be a million times better. I think the shoulder pads are too aggressive. I don't think they do anything for the look, but that's what my inspiration was. I also made a little coat of arms, little handbag, which I think is adorable. So I think because I don't hate it, and I think all I'd have to do is like lose the shoulder pads and this would be like not a terrible look. I'll give it like a 6.5, I think. All right, day 3 is Vessel, and I had a little bit of trouble with that. I wasn't sure if I should go like a nautical theme or not. And then it just hit me like a brick wall. The infamous boat or ship wig that Marie Antoinette wore allegedly. And if you know me, you know I am obsessed with Marie Antoinette. She is my favorite historical villain. She is just so glam and just so utterly naive. I just love her. So I went with this sort of underwear is outerwear kind of situation here, where we have this bandeau bra top that's also like a bow. And then we have the like corset skirt kind of situation with lots of boning, lots of lacing, and all in that kind of powdery blue that's like classic Marie Antoinette. I think the sort of like half cage crinoline makes it a little bit more costumey, but I think if you take that away and you kind of take away her wig, I think that it's like a pretty modern, cute outfit. I think this is something I personally would wear. Like I would wear this out. I would probably wear it in black because you know me, black is my favorite color. I'm gonna give her like an 8.5 for the sole fact that I feel like this could have had like a little something. I feel like she's missing something maybe. And let me know what you guys think, if you think she's missing something or if you think she's good how she is. I would love to hear about it. But yeah, 8.5, definitely one of my favorites. I actually like have this little pink tab in here that I marked all my favorite illustrations. All right, day 4. A lot of these prompts, I will probably just say I had an idea stuck in my head and had to get it out. And you can very clearly see here, I couldn't get the sail dress from The Little Mermaid out of my head. This one, little costumey, I don't love it. I'm kind of glad that I just got it out of my brain. And so now that I fleshed it out, I think I don't love it. It looked better in my head, which is a common theme. I'm gonna give her a 4. I don't think it's terrible. I think this would make like a cute costume, like for Halloween maybe. All right, baby, day 5 was Raven, and this one I am absolutely obsessed with. I imagine this ultra high-waisted skirt, like it goes up above the natural waistline, is made out of latex. I've been really into latex lately. And then it's got 2 like style lines up the front and these little teeny tiny notches of slits like at the bottom of the skirt I think are great. I imagine just like a sheer kind of crop top situation, like maybe you would wear like pasties or like a bra under this and just like let it kind of just be sheer. And I imagined this would have like raven and rooster feathers, just because rooster feathers have that iridescent quality to them, and I just think that would add like a really kind of luxe feeling to it. But also like the raven feathers, because they're just so like densely black, if that makes sense. This one I'm obsessed with. This one is also a little pink tab favorite. I would also wear this one. All right, day 6 was Spirit, and I didn't want to do like a full on like ghost look, if you know what I mean. This might be super niche, but if you've ever seen the lovely Blood Flow music video from Baths, I roughly based it off of these little spirit creatures here. And you can see that obviously in the headpiece. I, as you know, am a part-time weeb, and I'm obsessed with Japan, so I kind of went with like an obi situation across the chest, even though that's more, it's like closer to the Korean like traditional garment. I forget what it's called, it's slipping my mind. So it's a little closer to that, with the that belt kind of closer up to the bust. But I imagined this to be like a super ethereal, dreamy dress that's just like completely sheer organza. I'm gonna give this one a 6.5, I would say. I think there's potential here, but I don't think it's the best it could be, if that makes sense. I don't dislike it, but for sure could be a little better. 6.5. All right, day 7, the prompt was fan. And of course, I'm sure like everybody else on the planet, I was thinking of those like accordions, you know, the boop, 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 boop type fans. I don't know if those have a name, the little hand fans. I thought of those, which immediately made me think of like an accordion pleated fabric or skirt. And so you can see I have an accordion pleated skirt here. And then under a sheer blouse, I have a like lace bustier, and it kind of turned into more of like a country New England kind of like I'm cottagecore kind of vibes. This wasn't really what I was going for. I don't think it's a bad outfit. I just think I don't love it. I'm not like excited by it. I would probably give it like a 7, being generous. I think it's not bad. I just think not my favorite. Day 8, the prompt is watch, and I was very heavily inspired by Game of Thrones and The Night's Watch. So I have a fur jacket here where the body of the jacket is fur, and then the actual like sleeves are either leather or suede. I think I love that juxtaposition of like a harder fabric with like a big fluffy kind of more dramatic fabric. And then I've got some moto pants with the reinforcement on the knees here, and a t-shirt dress. Obviously you can't really see the top of the dress, but I imagined it to be like a crew neck type t-shirt that's super long but has super high slits up the side, like above the hip. And this is another pink tab favorite here. I absolutely love this one. I would say illustration wise, I don't love how the pants turned out. I think that the reinforcement kind of turned out a little bit wonky. They don't really match, but I like where it's going. I think I would give this probably like an 8.5. Like I like where it's going. I think it's good, but I think it could be tweaked just a tish and it would be perfect. Okay, day 9 was pressure, and I think at this point I was losing a little bit of inspirational steam, I suppose. And I couldn't think of anything for pressure. It was really just, I genuinely couldn't think of anything. And so then I was like, well, maybe I'll do like a corset, like the item itself is causing pressure like on the body. This really like turned out like a bad play costume. Do you know what I mean? It's super costumey and like in a bad way even. I don't like this one. I think it's just generally not good. The illustration isn't good. The design doesn't even have potential. I don't know. I'm not a fan of her. I'm gonna give her like a 2. There's just like not really a redeeming quality here for this one. All right, day 10 was pick, and I tried to go with like a Disney vibe like I did on day 4 with Ariel, and I tried to go for like hey ho, off to work we go, or whatever the fuck that song is. She kind of just turned out like weirdly hipstery. My thought process got a little bit derailed, to say the least, while I was doing this illustration. My brain just said, but what if you did leopard print booties? And I said, you know what if I did? And then I tried them, and I think they're cute and I think they're great. With this outfit, do they make sense? No, I don't really love it. I'll give it a 3 because there are individual items that I like, but altogether it's kind of a disaster. All right, day 11, the prompt was sour, and I had an inspirational epiphany, I feel like, this day. I love her outfit. I feel like this is such a strong look. I am clearly inspired by lemons being sour, as you can see in the print of the trousers. And then her like little like trench, like short trench coat situation feels super 70s. And I imagine this is like out of a bright yellow like vinyl, like a raincoat kind of situation. This is very successful. I don't think this is my style at all. Some of the parts of the drawing are a little bit wonky, but with Inktober, you can't erase anything, so, you know, what can you do? But I think that this one is really good. I'm probably gonna give her like a 7.5. I think just for the sole fact it's not really my style. Generally speaking, like the whole 70s vibe, the colors, I just think aren't me personally, but I think overall it's a good look. Day 12 was stuck. So I kind of went off the inspiration of bubble gum, like getting stuck to your face when you blow a bubble, or like getting stuck in your hair or something. And so you can see on her face, she has like a popped bubble gum bubble on her face. And I went with this just like really cutesy candy vibe. I believe the artist's name is Kyaru Pamu. I think I might have that incorrect. I only know one song from her. It's called Pon Pon Pon. And the music video is so Harajuku Monster Cafe type vibes. So that was kind of like the kawaii kind of style fashion thing I was attempting to do. I think this outfit is super cute. I think I love the high-waisted trouser short. I like the sheer pink dress with a little bit of like a statement sleeve. I like the blue kind of aquamarine like bustier top like on top of that shirt. I think it's really cute. It's super not my style, but I think it's not a bad look. I think it's a very specific person that likes this. I'll probably give it like a 7 because I think it's good. I generally enjoy looking at it, but it's not really my style. All right, day 13, the prompt was roof. I had an idea going in. I had an inspiration. I felt like it was strong. On the side panels of this like princess seam, I went with shingles like of a roof. And so we have these like scalloped little like panels or little appliques maybe down the sides, and I imagine that these little like pieces had little beaded fringes on them. And then I kind of like, obviously overall I would say this has like a very like 1920s like flapper vibe to it. And then down the center we have like, again, that reoccurring like long in the middle, like short on the sides kind of thing going on. However, I think there's not enough contrast in length between the short part of the dress and the long part of the dress. I wish that middle part was longer. I put a godette in there, like a little inset piece, and it stops like right at the crotch. I don't think it's flattering. I think that should have been a lot longer, and I think that godette should have hit at maybe like the mid thigh. I'm gonna give her like a 7.5, just because the design itself I think is a little bit unflattering. All right, so day 14 ended up being an accidental masterpiece. The prompt was tick. And I live in North Dakota, which is literally the tickiest place. It's got to be the tickiest place in North America. So in the skirt, there's a lot of inspiration from, I forget what type of tick it is, but there's like these little sort of like armored panel type vibes like down the sides of it. And then some top stitching, just because I feel like that adds like an interesting texture. And the little like the panels on the side, the sections do feel very like arachnid. And then down the side seam, I imagined there would be like a fringe made out of the same leather that the skirt is made out of, all down the sides, kind of representing like little bug legs down the side. And then the top did not turn out how I wanted it to, but I think it looks good. I've got like a little waist cincher kind of situation on the top, and then it's like a sheer top here, like long sleeved, big giant statement sleeves, and the sleeves have like little cinches down them, like little areas where they're gathered, which I think creates this interesting segmented bug leg look. And so this was very heavily inspired by the tick, and I think it looks so freaking good. I don't know if there's much I would really change about this. I think the way I illustrated the top, I kind of did it backwards, where it looks like she has an undershirt, but I did not imagine her to have an undershirt. I gave her like those X pasties or whatever. But I imagine this to be just like a single layer sheer top, maybe organza, maybe tulle. I would give her a 9. Like, I feel that confident about this look. I think it's very me. I think it's cool. I think like I want to be her friend, you know what I mean? This one also got a little pink tab. All right, day 15, I don't hate. It feels a little too costumey, a little too fashion history, a little bit too Ren Fair for me. I wanted to go for like a modern sort of like medieval top with like a leather pant, and then she's got like this faux fur shawl. Oh, the prompt was helmet. And so I don't know if you guys know the band Heilung, but the lead vocalist, she wears these like antlers like as a headpiece, and I kind of was thinking of that, and then this very just like Nordic medieval kind of like vibe. I don't think it translated very well. I don't think it's a bad drawing. I think this is like great for the Ren Fair. I just think it doesn't feel modern enough for me. So I'd probably give it like a 6.5, because I think for me this is not wearable on a daily basis, I think. So think that's that. All right, day 16, we're halfway through. The prompt was compass. I don't really know. I was trying to go for like 18th century seafarer. Obviously, I really do love fashion history. I think it's incredible. There's nothing like it. But some of the things are just too history, like not enough fashion, you know what I mean? And I think that happened here too. Have like a Commodore like jacket situation. It's like, I think cute by itself. And then just like a little top with like a crop top with a notch in the top, that's like fine. It'd be like a fine basic, I guess. And then the pants, I somehow illustrated this and made that look like that's her butt instead of like her front, which my husband thought was funny because the prompt was compass, like she's all turned around. It's not my favorite. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think I'd give it like a 4, just because I don't think it's a super successful drawing. All right, so day 17, the prompt was collide. This one I really like. I am just gonna be like upfront and say I'm probably gonna give this one like a 7.5. I love the juxtaposition of this latex bodysuit on top of this like fishnet bodysuit. And then we have this pink frilly dress on top. I think I would only give it a 7.5 because the dress on top I think isn't super successful, but I think the collision of both of the styles is like good. I think it had a great direction. I think it just needs like a little bit more help. I feel like this turned out a little bit more like kawaii, edgy, Harajuku fashion than I had intended, but I think it works. Okay, day 18. If any of you know me, you know I love the moon. I think that this illustration turned out really well. This one also got a little pink tab of approval. So I feel like you can obviously see the inspiration of the moon in this one. Very round, very silver. So this dress, I imagine, is like completely organza, completely like sheer, and obviously you can like see her body through it. But I also feel like this guy would have like paillettes, like different shades of like silver. Paillettes, which are like big giant sequins, kind of just randomly on it. Like it wouldn't be covered in the paillettes, but it would have like kind of little clusters of paillettes here and there in the varying shades of silver. I just think that would be so cool. This one I absolutely love. I'm gonna give her like a 9. I think it's extremely successful. I think the illustration's good. I think the dress is good. I just really generally like love this one. All right, day 19, the prompt was loop. I had a little bit of difficulty with this one. The illustration did not turn out how I wanted it to. The markers bled a little bit, but all of these little red, magenta, and like green pieces I imagined were little beaded loops. And so I tried to like put on with my paint pen little sparkly bits, and then I put it on this sheer dress, which I felt like did not make any sense to me in my head. And then when I showed my husband this, he goes, oh, so they're like little fuzzy loops on there, like on a sheer fabric. And I was like, I mean, that's not what I intended, but I think the light fluffiness of like a little fluffy loop that maybe had like some sequins or like little beads or sparkly bits in it on the sheer fabric makes a lot more sense. I think with my idea of the actual beaded part of it, I think on a heavier fabric, like maybe velvet, would look really great. Personally, I don't love the pink and the green. It feels a little too whimsical for me. I don't think I'm a very like whimsical designer. I don't hate it, but there's something I don't really like love about it and I can't pinpoint it. Maybe I would have liked it better if it was monochromatic. I'm not sure. I'm gonna give her a 7. All right, day 20 was a weird one. The prompt was sprout, and I had seen this really chunky knitted, really textural sweater, and I was like, ooh, that would be fun to do something. It reminded me of like moss or something like that, which I think the sweater is mossy. I don't like love it. It turned out a little bit more woolly looking than I kind of wanted, like more just like curly sheep's wool. And then I tried to do this sort of like orange pant, and I think that by themselves they're fine, but I think this whole look together turned out a little more equestrian than I wanted it to, and it feels like each of these individual pieces, like this slouchy boot, these like fucking riding pants, and then like this chunky sweater, all feel like they're from different outfits, which like I'm not a fan of, and I'm gonna give this one a 6. All right, day 21, I was back on it. The prompt is fuzzy, and I think she's looking dope. I imagine this like cropped faux fur jacket that had like, I don't know if this is gonna make a whole lot of sense, but if you've ever seen those faux furs that are like, they almost have like steps like cut into them, if that makes sense. There's like a tiered Christmas tree almost type effect to them. And so that's what I was kind of imagining here. I think the illustration itself doesn't illustrate that. But I think overall, like, the look is good, and I love the like latex pants that are like high-waisted, like she's not even wearing a shirt. She is great. I'm gonna give her like an 8.5, I would say, just because I would illustrate this maybe a little bit better and add something for a little bit more interest, like maybe something on the like latex leggings or something. But overall, I really like her. Right, day 22, the prompt was open. I did an open backed gown. I think it's fine. I'm gonna give her a 5 because I don't hate it. I do like it. She reminds me of like a champagne flute, you know what I mean? And I also really like the cascading, like bejeweled necklace thing in the back. And I mean, that's about it. I just think I've seen this dress on every red carpet ever, you know what I mean? Day 23, the prompt was leak, and then I got wet t-shirt contest stuck in my head. And so I decided to go for like a shirt, like a t-shirt dress. I think it turned out a little short. Like I would think this should be like mid-thigh at the minimum. But I imagined just like a white t-shirt with like a pink graphic on the front, but then I imagined, and the graphic didn't really turn out well. I was trying to like doodle like a girl with like crazy eyes, you know what I mean? For the illustration, because I think it'd be really cool to have this like really fun, kind of like flirty, like mini t-shirt dress kind of thing going on, and then having like a pink graphic on the front, but then it's like kind of like a creepy graphic. Like she's got crazy eyes and like, I don't know, maybe there's like knives or something, you know what I mean? This one I don't hate. I'd probably give it like a 6.5. It needs something, but I think overall I like the direction of it. All right, day 24, the prompt was extinct. And obviously the first thing I thought of was dinosaurs. But then I was like, I'm not really inspired by dinosaurs. What are other extinct things? There was an animal called the Tasmanian tiger. I believe it went extinct in the 30s or the 20s. That was my inspiration. I've got, again, here the sheer part of the dress has appeared in the neckline and then the bottom of the skirt of the dress. I imagine the brown part to be like a micro suede, maybe like something like leathery, but like in softer. Do you know what I mean? And then the stripes that the Tasmanian tiger had on its hind legs and like hip area are obviously, you can see in these little like feathered, fluffy, like faux fur, like little stripes on here. I think this one turned out really good. I think it's not really my style. I think I'd give it like a 7.5. There's something like it that feels a little bit matronly for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, let me know what you guys think about any of these drawings. I know you guys are probably going to have very different opinions, so I'd love to hear it. All right, day 25 is like fully whack. The prompt was splat, and all I could think of was like an egg splatted on the ground. So we have this dress that's sort of sheer. We've got the egg yolk in the center. Where is she going? I don't know. Who is she? I don't know. I just really leaned into like this kitschy, campy eggness that it is. I got her an egg fanny pack going on here. I also didn't give her any hair of any sort Just got like a nice smooth egghead. It's like weird. I don't dislike this, but I'm also like kind of confused by it. So I'm gonna give her like a 6.5, just because I don't know who she is, what she wants, where she's going, what she's doing. But like, there's something about it I'm intrigued by. All right, day 26, the prompt was connect. And I tried to do like a more like urban streetwear kind of a situation. We've got like these high-waisted, baggier denim jeans that connect at the knee with like those like buckle snap situations, and you could take those off and then you have shorts. And then her top also has like a similar kind of connector situation at the side seam and at the shoulder seam. I imagined it was like a sort of leotard bodysuit kind of a situation. I think it's a fun take on the classic blue jeans and white shirt, but she like needs something else, like a dope jacket or something. Overall, I don't hate it. I think I would give this one a 6.5 as well. Okay, day 27. This is like not what was in my head. The prompt was spark. I imagined that there was this metallic-y, like a gold metallic that had sort of this like red and orange like ribbon running through it, like this cord that kind of went under the bust and then like down the hip. It kind of like swirled around in a really organic way into the skirt. And I feel like in my head imagined more of these like bursts of tulle, but then like I don't know why my brain said no, do like a tiered tulle skirt. And then maybe because I gave her a mullet, but this just looks so painfully 80s to me, but like not even like in a good way. I'm gonna give her like a 3.5 for effort. Day 28, the prompt was crispy. And I imagined that the bulk of this dress is like a really crunched up, like gunmetal metallic fabric. Like, do you remember from the 90s, those shirts where you could stretch them out really big, but when they were like teeny, teeny, tiny? So I imagine it's a fabric like this, and then we have like a clear vinyl for the neckline, and then up the sides, again, I am showcasing a nice high slit above the hip. This one of my favorites, another pink tab of approval. I'm gonna give her like a 9. I think this is glamorous, and I feel like it feels young and modern and edgy. I love her. Like, I would wear this to an event. This one is like comical for me. I got so many comments on this one from the time-lapse drawing I did where people are like, why is she so long? I think it's just the actual garment on her that makes her look really long. She is not any longer than any of the other illustrations. I just thought that was like so funny. Maybe your girl needs this dress because I'm like 5 feet tall. I'd like to look long. Day 29, the prompt was patch. And I thought I'd do this kind of like fun, like quirky denim patchwork jacket. I don't dislike the jacket. However, I feel like it falls flat with the like gold suede shorts that I did. I think it would have been a lot more impactful if I had done like another like patchwork short and just did like a matching set kind of a situation instead of trying to like make it look wearable. I'm gonna give it like a 5 just because I feel kind of indifferent about it. It's not really my style and I just don't think it really turned out great. So I think a solid 5 for that one. All right, day 30. The prompt was slither. This one is another pink tab of approval, just spoiler alert. I will say I'm gonna give her like an 8 just because I think she's like missing something. I did like this latex pant or like even just like a super shiny, like just a shiny leather pant, bell bottoms. And then I imagine this pattern up the side is like embroidered. And then her top I imagine is being like sheer or maybe even like suede with the same embroidery, like monochromatic. But this one is really good. I love her. I think she just needs a little extra oomph, maybe some accessorizing, but I think she is great. Okay, day 31, last day of Inktober. Prompt was risk. I was thinking like, ooh, risky, really down that like fashion history sort of vibe. And I was thinking of like caged crinolines. I love caged crinolines. I think they look so cool. So I wanted to do this like caged look, like, ooh, your underwear is showing, like scandalous, you know, but she kind of turned into this like bizarre alien situation. And then I really tried to lean into it and giving her like 3 buns on her head, but I just don't think that's very good. The whole look I don't like love. It's kind of a hot mess. It feels like, I don't know, is she from the same alien planet that Frankenfurter was from in Rocky Horror Picture Show? Like, I don't know. I don't love it. I'm gonna give her like a 4, only because there's like that caged crinoline aspect to it, which I feel like has potential, but we really did not finish strong. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Let me know what you thought about the illustrations down below, which looks were your favorite. And of course, any respectful critiques are welcome down below too. So yeah, if you guys have anything, any comments, tips, tricks, or suggestions, as always, please leave them in the comment section below. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I will see you little cuties in the next one. Bye.